The next speaker will be a gentleman who has been from Hong Kong, who's been active in the Asian Human Rights Commission. In particular, he's from the Sindhi origins, which also have their own aspirations, different from Balochistan, but very complementary on their human level. And he will be speaking about conflict in Balochistan and its impact on the region. Let's give a welcome to Basir Naweed.
Thank you for this presentation. I will talk much more on human rights violations in the Balochistan, and so much has been said since morning, and I have to delete also several slides which I have made, but the people have said already. And before starting this, I will invite all of you to look at the Asian Human Rights Commission's website, that is www.hrc.net or .org, and we have that method of urgent appeals and statements, and if you go by putting the name Balochistan, then you will find statements and urgent appeals. So urgent appeals generally work very good, and it attracts the attention of the authorities as well as the UN officials, because we generally address to the UN authorities and they take the steps on that and asking the government, and in some cases we got the redresses about the victims. So this method we have applied particularly for disappearances and for torture. Torture is a very heinous crime in Pakistan, and one cannot believe if I say that there is no law in Pakistan and Pakistan Penal Code about the torture, that how the torture is being done in the custody by the army, by the police, and there is impunity to the authorities to have torture, because instead of word torture, it is said that hurt means hurt, it is between the two groups, not the state agent is doing torture or injuring person. So that's why the army is doing torture very frequently in the Balochistan case, and for particularly for young people, and Munir is the best example of that, what he experienced different types of torture, including provision of the sex slaves. So one can know about that. So that is the thing. Another thing is the disappearances. We have worked on individual cases of disappearances, and for the urgent appeals we make the document totally, a legal document on that, so that can be produced in the courts also as the best evidence for that cases. So we have to take much more information about each and every case, when he was lifted, when he was abducted, where he went, and what is the police argument about that, and what the authorities are saying. So I think that you people please see that. And one help I need from you, that the United Nations Working Group on Enforced and Involuntary Disappearances, and we have to, that group is called as WGEID, that is UNWGEID. If you go and check there on their website, so you will find there is a form of about the disappeared people. So we have to fill each and every column of that, just asking from the victim's family that when he was, and they need that UN group that need evidence from the victim's family, that victim family is happy that UN should take this case. So in many cases this has happened, and government of Pakistan and military has to reply them. In the case of Muhammad's brother Ehsan Arjumandi, some days ago, maybe 10th of this February, that group asked me about the Ehsan Arjumandi, that where is he, and we have written, because we have no any communication with any group about Ehsan Arjumandi. We have written that Ehsan Arjumandi is inside the Iran, and he has been extradited to Iran. And whereas the Muhammad is saying that, Muhammad Saab is saying that he has not been released yet. So he might have been killed, or he is under the military torture cell. So that is the case, because if we cannot provide total information to the UN groups, then we cannot help any victim. So that is very much necessary. And you people can also do, if you find anybody is disappeared from any place, you can just fill that form and send to WGID group. So they will take that issue with the government of Pakistan and authorities. So this will help. And in the case of Zakir Majid, Mohammad Saab was saying about disappearance. The Zakir Majid, it is written by the government that there is a crisis management cell, National Crisis Management Cell in the government of Pakistan, Islamabad, which has made the list of the people who were disappeared. And they have also mentioned that how many people were released. So Zakir Majid's name, he is a student leader of BSO Awami. He is missing since July last year. So it is said that Zakir Majid has been arrived at home on the 22nd January. But when we contacted the family members, so they tell that he has not been released, and we are working on that. So this is the case that military authorities, when they get the people and torture, and when somebody is died or they are needed much more, so they just spread the rumor that that man has been released. So we have to work continuously. This is something beyond that. What is your theme is that, okay, we agree that independence of your Balochistan, we agree. But for the victims' redresses, we have to provide some redress, some relief to the victims, that how these young peoples are being abducted, kidnapped and tortured. And torture is not something like that police people are torturing. And I have also, Asian Human Rights Commission has also issued the 52 centers of torture run by the military. These torture centers are besides the police torture centers, because police, in every police station you can find the torture. Torture is very humiliating thing, that it is only for the confessional statements or to degrade the man or women. That is the method to degrade the people. So that's why they do the torture, and for that we have to work very much. And we have issued that 52 torture cells, where those torture cells are working under the direct control of the military. And Munir will tell his, will narrate his own story about that. Okay, so this was something which I wanted to mention you, but this Balochistan, people have said about this, so I should skip this one. And this is also the betrayal with Balochi people. Munir and other people have told that how Jinnah has betrayed, and how Pakistan has betrayed the Balochis, and how General Ayub Khan started military operation. And Munir was saying since 1950, before that, how Balochistan was treated. So nothing more to say on that. But the thing, I start that we will talk on latest military operation in Balochistan. Generally people talk on the military operation, but people don't know that it has nothing to do with the 9/11 incident, like that against the Taliban or against other people. It was generally Musharraf has started this, and after that 9/11 incident has occurred. So this will also creating a problem for whole of the South Asia region. And in Balochistan, what we say is that law is totally prohibited in Balochistan. There is no such kind of thing which can be called as the law in the Balochistan. And when this government of Zardari, President Zardari, has handed over the all law enforcement agencies under the Federal Frontier Corps. So Frontier Corps is a paramilitary organization. Now he is saying that there is no military operation in the Balochistan, but withdrawing the army, he says that now the army is in the cantonments. But actually all these things have been handed over to the Frontier Corps. So Frontier Corps generally kill the people or take the people, and even if you, as I go further, you will find that how the marriage parties were attacked and how many people were killed because they were observing some gestures and some dhol tasha, what we call some drum beating and songs. So people were having, and these coward people thought that they are coming with some guns, so they killed the people. So we will see later by that. And in Balochistan, not a single day goes without the abduction or torture or killing. Anything can happen anytime. Anytime. In this moment, one can see that I can see that how many people are going through that, because there are so many people which are disappeared and which are arrested and which have been pressurized to confess that they know the BLA, Balochistan Liberation Organization, and that BLA has the link with the India. So this is, and that started this, the second kind of, during the Musharraf regime, second kind of military operation was started when Sardar Akbar Khan Bukti was killed. And before that, lady doctor, Dr. Shazia was raped, and Musharraf has come out in support of that captain who has raped that one. And to support for that captain, he has started bombardment. And during this killing of the Akbar Bukti and 37 persons, the Air Force was used. Actually, Pakistan Air Force and F-16 aeroplanes were used to kill the people of the area and bombardment. So that's why that Zarina Baloch is missing since that time. And people generally know that that there are more than 300,000 people are not disappeared, that displaced in the, that is internal displacement in the Pakistan by the bombardment. That so many has displaced and migrated to Punjab area, that is Dera Ghazi Khan and Multan areas, they went over there, and many have migrated inside the Balochistan, and there is this big crisis of more than 300,000 displaced persons, but nobody is looking for their problems, and so many people have to take shelter with their relatives all around the country. And the regional leaders think that the only diplomacy known to the military and federal government is by the way of F-16s and the helicopter gunships. This is the best diplomacy what Pakistan government is applying, F-16 jet aeroplanes and this gunship helicopters. Even today these things are being used, though the government is saying there is no military operation inside that. And the thing is that how I say that South Asia is in danger, because these two countries, the India and Pakistan, both are the nuclear countries. The Indians are not saying so much about their nuclear weapons, but we proudly say that we can attack any place of the India with atomic bomb. And nowadays all the television channels and even the government leaders are saying, oh, we have atomic bombs, so we can fight with any country. This kind of trend has been promoted in the country. So they have now find, Pakistani rulers now find that this is the best way to malign the neighbor countries. So they are saying that there is Indian hand inside the insurgency in the Balochistan. And this is the Interior Ministry said, but our Prime Minister said also when he visited the Sharm el-Sheikh, that Egyptian place, and where he visited, he met with the Indian Prime Minister, and he categorically mentioned that Indian hand is behind that. So after that, so many young people and students who were very much sympathized with the Baloch movement and who were fighting for the recovery of disappeared peoples, those all were arrested. And they are being tortured to confess that the BLA and they are working on the Indian, that phenomena, or Indian hands are behind that thing. So this is disturbing the whole region also, because sometimes our government find that in Afghanistan there is Indian hand, and now they say in Balochistan. So if they start doing that, so Balochistan is not close to the borderline of the India, so it can create a big problem for the South Asia. This is for the international community to think how this Baloch movement has been treated by the rulers or the military people, that they are putting the whole region in the danger. So that's why, and I say that they have profound negative effects on the entire region, including the front line of the much wanted global war on terror. So this is, and one we have that founder of the atomic bomb who says that when he was asked that if you throw the atomic bomb on Delhi, so Lahore will also be affected. So he said, no, 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 we will not throw it on the Delhi, but we will throw it on the Calcutta. Now look, the mindset of our rulers and military people and scientists. What the people of Calcutta did. So they are saying, no, no, we will not say, because that we will also become the affectee. So they say we will put on the Calcutta. So this mindset of people when they are working and dealing with a movement, so how it will turn into a catastrophe. I have told this about this 52 military torture cells, and I have put those names also, and somebody is saying that he will make the photocopy of that and give you, and please see it, and also try if there are some centers are left, so please add into that. And we have also again this time put this list to the UN Council to see that how these cells are running. And one of the cell where Munir was there in the southern Karachi of Pakistan, so that is the center of the city, and every cantonment has its own torture cell. And you know, we call one thing is that is safe houses. Safe houses are run by the ISI, and that is very official one, open places. And those safe houses are working in every cantonment where ISI is torturing the people. And in the Kashmir of our Pakistani part and this part of Gilgit-Baltistan, from where this our gentleman is here. So in those areas, every day so many people are being taken into the safe houses of ISI where tortures are being done with the people, and they are pressured to go and do the insurgencies inside the Indian places. We have registered, documented those cases. You can find those one also. So 17 minutes already, sorry. So just cases. I'm sorry I took time. This case will show you the mindset of the police, that people, there is one DIG we call Deputy Inspector General of Police in Nasirabad of the Balochistan. He said that if any fire comes and any policeman is killed, we will kill 40 persons. He said this thing on the 21st August during his press conference. This is the mindset. One can see how this, he says we will kill 40 people at the time. And if any rocket comes, we will fire 10 rockets to the people. So this shows that how Punjab is treating, because the police is trained in the Punjab, whether they are Sindhi, Balochi or anybody. So their mindset are that Balochis are not the good people. They have to be killed. So this is the mindset which shows that. And there was another case which I just mentioned, this enforced disappearances. I have mentioned that more than 4,000 people, the Asian Human Rights Commission claims that more than 4,000 people are disappeared. Generally, nationalists are saying 8,000, but we claim that more than 4,000 people. Because on the 5th December 2005, the Interior Minister of Musharraf, Mr. Sherpao, said in the National Assembly that we have arrested 4,000 people. And you know, Not a single man was produced before the court. Where are those 4,000 people? Maybe 100 has been produced, but where are those 4,000 people? 168 children are missing. Among them, there is one 2 years old and one is 4 years old. Can you imagine when the army was attacking on the area, so people were going outside from migrating, and they have captured all the people and asking where is the BLA, and who and your family members are, your young men are, your males are from the BLA, and 148 women are also missing. But Munir is saying something else, 250. But this is from the government list. I have to conclude attack. This is the attacks on the wedding parties. You can see 13 people were killed on the February 2, 2009, and when there was some this Mela Thela kind of thing in that is some what ceremonies or what yes, wedding ceremonies. So they came, they thought that they are doing some meeting, so they started firing. In another incident, that a policeman was chasing a car of some drug peddlers. So that car went away. Then this police party went into that house where wedding party was there, and police have killed that young man, and saying that this is our law, and he does not choose. He says that this is our criteria, what we choose and what not. And this extrajudicial killing is very common in the Balochistan. These three people, these three brave people, they were killed in extrajudicial killing, and this is the very much example of killing of the evidences, killing of the witnesses. These were the people who were witness, who were tortured. They remained more than 11 months in the torture cells of military, and they were the people who were helping the government of Pakistan for the for John Solanki, and they were helping. And army was knowing that these people are. So John Solanki was, some people say, and they are right, that John Solanki was abducted by the intelligence agencies, and these people were knowing about that, so that's why they were killed. Okay, I have to wind up. And there is another case of August 22, when these generally people are saying that Punjabis are being killed in the by the Balochis insurgents. Actually, the people have arrested 2 persons who were from the Federal Intelligence Bureau. They attacked a teacher, and then they were arrested. And after that, police have released them, and the military also came to help them. Censorship is very much common in Pakistan. Whether they claim that media is open or not, they are common. And we have mentioned in our statements and in our urgent appeal that how this Director General of the military ISPR, we call Inter-Services Public Relations Office, this Director Major General, who is the Director General of the ISPR, he goes to every newspaper and saying not to put any news about the Balochi people, and particularly about that Zarina Mari case. And 3 newspapers were outside their newspapers, their military standing, so they cannot come out with the open. We are the signatories of International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Convention Against Torture. We have signed this one in 2008 in March, but this has not become the part of our law, and generally they don't want to make, because then they have to change the law. So legislators are also not interested to go for these international covenant or the mechanism of the UN or the whatever the government signs. They don't care for that to provide the relief to the people. And we have this one suggestions. So I'm winding up, sir. Just so the Asian Human Rights Commission is issuing an early warning that Pakistan is fast approaching a disaster that requires urgent intervention. If the conflict, which is still at present confined to Balochistan, spills over significantly into neighboring provinces or regions, the HRC also calls on the international community, and in particular the UN Security Council, to take up the situation in Pakistan as top priority. We also demand that there should be a war crime tribunal for these disappearances and torture. There should be, and we need the people like Desmond Tutu type of people, because in Pakistan you cannot find anyone who would go and who can have that courage to come that one. So we need that work type of, because the military is directly involved in these crimes. So we need a work type. Another thing that more torture cells and other, you can read from that. So thank you very much.